Hey, English 112 students, it's Miss Williams again. Just to give you a little bit more information about the outline for your first formal assignment. Remember, you've got a couple different websites to choose an essay from. So if I click on the Long Reads website and I go to that website, they've got several listed on that page that I first click on, Long Reads Best of 2020 Essays. If I scroll through the topics that they've got on the main page, and I realize I'm not really interested in any of those topics, right here at the bottom above these ads, you'll see read all the categories in our best of 2020 year in collection. And that's where you'll really be able to like search by category. There's also best of 2021 you could look at too. It doesn't have to be from 2020, but Um, you've got business writing, food, crime reporting for those of you that like true crime, music writing, sports, COVID 19, if you're not sick of writing or talking about it, science and nature. So I'm just going to click on crime reporting because I like true crime. And I'm going to see what essays they've got available here that I could analyze. Okay, so this looks like it's has something to do with Joe Exotic for all of us who unfortunately watched Tiger King, which was definitely interesting, but also sad and scary at the same time. It looks like somebody's written an essay about that whole story with Carol Baskins and Joe Exotic. So if that's something that you're interested in, you would just click on the link for whatever essay you choose. You're going to read the essay first before you do anything. Um, Remember, we're also analyzing images. You guys learned how to do that last week. So if there's any images associated with that essay, you're going to be analyzing those as well as a part of this assignment. We've definitely got an image there that we're going to have to analyze. So you've got this essay. You're going to read through it, look at the images as well, which are important to the overall messaging, the persuasive means that are in that particular story. And then I'm going to go over to my assignment overview, which is with this week's assignments, the sample outline. So your outline only has to have bullet points. You don't have to write the paragraphs yet. We'll do that when we come back from spring break, when we work on our rough draft. But for example, in the main body paragraphs 3 and 4, what appeals does the author make? Where do we have logos? Are there any statistics? Where do we have pathos? Where are those emotional appeals? Where do we have ethos? So if I have an example of pathos, then obviously I'm going to have a quote from that essay that supports that example that there are a lot of pathos appeals. If I say there are more pathos appeals in this essay than anything, then I better have a quote from somewhere in that essay that supports, and I'm probably going to have a couple examples. Um, if I go back to in the next paragraphs, how is the text organized? Is it organized in a specific way, in a linear way? If it's telling the story, what kind of visual materials are there? To what extent has the author convinced me of their argument? So again, with each of these different, you've got the intro here, then you've got the main body paragraphs 1 and 2. So these are going to be divided up into 1 and 2. These are going to be divided up into 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. You need to have at least a couple quotes for each paragraph, other than the intro, that help your reader understand what your essay was about, but also that support your argument. So if you're telling me, um, for example, this question here, does the author ever confuse facts with beliefs or opinions? If you say yes, the author does tend to confuse his or her own beliefs with um, about this topic with his or her opinions. then you need to give me examples of that in the essay. If you're saying that, go back here, it says, does the speaker, how convincing is the evidence here? If you say this, the author really convinces me of whatever their argument is in this particular essay, then give me a quote that you feel is really convincing that supports that. So, basically, I think what I required of you in the introductory paragraph, as you can see here, sentence 1 is a quote. So you should have a really strong pathos quote from that essay. And then you're going to explain it in your own words. And then you're going to give me some other information that's kind of introductory about the author, about the topic. The only quote you should have in that first paragraph when you're doing the outline and when you're writing the paper is the intro quote. But in 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, you should have at least 2 to 3 quotes for each of these. So you don't have to support every single bullet point with a quote, but you do need to have at least 2 or 3 per paragraph. And then, of course, you can look and see what the conclusion is. But for the outline, again, you're just doing bullet points. And if you do what you need to do for the outline and you have your supportive text there, then your paper's basically written for you. You just have to go back and kind of string everything together. But the reason that I make you guys put your textual evidence in your outline up front is because you basically have your paper written if you do it correctly. And remember, if you do not have textual evidence from your essay in your outline, then you're going to get a 0 for it. So you might as well just do it the right way, get full credit for it. Don't forget to post it in the discussion board by Friday. And then by Sunday, you should read through and comment on a couple of your classmates' outlines. So make sure you let me know if you have questions this week. This is our first formal assignment and our first outline for English 112. So I want to make sure that you guys know what you're doing. And if you do have questions, please, please, please feel free to reach out to me and ask, and I'll be happy to help you. Thank you and have a good week.